Bim, 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 bro, comic book, flippity flap flap, bits of scripting and a lot of characters from the movies.
I watched Thor Ragnarok for the first time since I saw it in theaters. I mostly liked it back then, and I still found the parts that I enjoyed before to be quite funny and well made. But the things I kinda disliked before became quite problematic this time around. This will be a roundup of my thoughts on the movie. But first, there is a noticeable tonal shift between the previous Thor movies and Ragnarok. He used to be serious, even Shakespearean. Now he's a comedic character. For some, this change revitalized the franchise, for others it was too jarring. To me, it was clearly necessary. If Thor was to be paired with the Guardians in Infinity War, he would have to stop being so serious. It's a course correction. Serious Thor would not work with the banter and jokes of the Guardians. The most they'd get out of serious Thor is making fun of him for being stuffy, and that's not really funny. The Marvel people used Thor to bridge the tonal and stylistic divide between their more serious stuff and the Guardians. In-universe, we can look at it like this. Thor spent a lot of time on Earth, and in the company of Tony Stark, which made him more laid back. He's chill because he wasn't around stuffy Asgard for a while. That sort of makes sense. Moving on. Ragnarok is an entertaining sci-fi action comedy, but its main plot is boring. Despite her great casting and cool costume, Hela is a very generic villain with uninteresting goals. She's the typical I want to conquer everything comic book stereotype that so many movies have done before. Except this time she's not even going to destroy the Earth. She's a great threat to Asgard. But I don't care about that place at all, and I don't even understand it really. Why are there peasants in Asgard? Shouldn't this be like the Olymp? Are these ordinary people or some very minor gods? Would they be stronger than humans if they got to Earth? And what is Asgard exactly?
Asgard's not a place, it's a people.
Okay, so Asgard is not the magical floating city. It's just wherever its people settle down. Got it.
We just need to hold her off until everyone's on board.
It won't end there. The longer Hela's on Asgard, the more powerful she grows.
Wait, so Asgard is a concrete place? Hela is getting her power from being in the magical floating city? Or is she getting her power from being near the Asgardian people? Wouldn't evacuating them elsewhere fix the problem? With the people gone, the magical floating city is no longer Asgard, so Hela wouldn't get any more power from it, right? They didn't need to destroy the place. Basically, whenever the movie cuts back to her, I just want to go back to the fun parts. Look, even Thor fell asleep. Wake up, we're done talking about Hela.
Search his crown, the vault. It's the only way.
Bold move, brother. Even for me.
You're going the wrong way. The vault is over there. Anyway, I think everyone who enjoyed this movie liked the scenes on Sakaar the most. There's Jeff Goldblum, fan favorite Korg, and of course the only version of Planet Hulk we are likely to ever get. Thor and Hulk had some fun scenes, Bruce Banner was great as a confused fish out of water, and Tessa Thompson is just great in everything. I wish most of the movie took place on Sakaar and expanded the gladiator fights. And their escape could have been done as more of a space heist. Because everything on Sakaar is a very different and much better movie than the stuff on Asgard. So how do we get to the fun parts faster? The monster knocked Thor out of the Bifrost beam and he ended up on Sakaar. Done. Interestingly, even though Ragnarok was meant to be closer to Guardians of the Galaxy, it also reminded me a lot of Star Wars. And unfortunately, I mean the prequels too, not just the originals. There is a ton of blue screen stuff in the movie and a lot of it looks very fake. This emotional scene of Odin's death is particularly problematic for me. It looks like the actors never left the soundstage, even though they actually filmed outside. And the environment is so dull. It's just an unremarkable meadow with a boring greyish vista of clouds and sea. Since they went through the trouble of compositing the scene, they could have added something more picturesque. This is where the scenery falls especially flat.
Look at that.
It was also reshot because originally this scene was set in an alley and Odin was a homeless person. The gladiator fight with Hulk was a lot of fun and there were several cool shots in it, but it also looked very fake. It would have been nice if they built at least part of the set like they did for Gladiator, instead of doing everything CG like they did for Attack of the Clones. Other comparisons with Star Wars are more favorable. I like the interiors on Sakaar and their colors and patterns reminded me of the painted ships from the prequels, which I always thought looked cool. And I don't know if this was intentional, but the end of the movie felt a lot like the endings of A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Of course, I could go on. There are many things to like in Ragnarok. For example, this neat use of Chekhov's gun. And I could also nitpick the movie. But these were things that immediately came to my mind when I rewatched it. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please subscribe.